50% cheaper tokens, 2 times the speed, and a $100 billion bet on infrastructure. Gemini 3 Pro, GPT 5.1, and now Claude Opus 4.5 didn't just get smarter, they've made intelligence a commodity. The demo era is over. The deployment war just escalated. Buckle up.
If you think this is just another model update, look closer, because Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.5 just landed alongside Google and OpenAI's latest, accelerating the market reset. This week marks the beginning of a new cost curve in AI. Let's break it down.
First, GPT 5.1. OpenAI shipped adaptive reasoning, tighter instruction following, and real-world gains. 2 to 3 times faster performance, and that massive 50% token reduction. For teams running agents, RAG, or complex workflows, that's not cosmetic. It's budget-changing. Fewer tokens means cheaper inference, higher throughput, and fewer headaches around latency, SLAS.
Meanwhile, Google fired back with Gemini 3 Pro, and it's built to operate as a full agent stack. Deep Think mode is hitting state-of-the-art reasoning benchmarks. Coding performance jumped over 50% compared to 2.5 Pro. And visually, Gemini 3 Pro Image, the Nano Banana Pro system, now outputs high-fidelity 2K and 4K assets, clean text rendering, and multi-image blends. In practice, this means Model plus Agent plus design tools are becoming a single unified layer.
And then there's the third headline, Claude Opus 4.5. Anthropic didn't just upgrade Opus, they made it a contender in the new agent economy. Opus 4.5 cuts token usage by up to 76%, adds a new effort parameter for speed versus depth control, and ships with deeper memory and more stable long-context reasoning. For enterprises running real pipelines, that combination matters: lower cost, higher reliability, predictable behavior.
And this isn't theory. Opus 4.5 is already wired into Chrome, Excel, GitHub Copilot, and Bedrock. Its strength isn't just accuracy, it's autonomous action, multi-step code edits, self-directed refactors, context preservation, and agent workflows that actually stabilize over long horizons. On benchmarks, Opus 4.5 beats Sonnet 4.5 and holds its own against both Gemini 3 Pro and GPT 5.1, especially in coding chains, tool use, and vision-assisted tasks. And Anthropic made the boldest move of all, up to 67% price cuts thanks to less token use. They're telling developers, stop prototyping, start deploying. The takeaway: Gemini 3 Pro, GPT 5.1, and Claude Opus 4.5 didn't just get better. They converged on the same idea. Intelligence is now a production asset, not a luxury. The agent wars just got their third heavyweight, and the cost of running serious AI just fell again.
And the integrations tell the real story. Gemini 3 Pro is already plugged into Android, Workspace, Figma, Adobe, and Google's new anti-gravity IDE. It's not being positioned as a chatbot. It's the orchestrator for autonomous workflows. We're watching Google move from assistant to agent runtime.
Speaking of agents, DeepMind's SEMA 2 delivered a 10 times leap in long-horizon tasks. It can navigate 3D worlds using natural language, planning, and precision keyboard/mouse control. Why does this matter? Because long-horizon robustness is exactly what enterprise automation has been missing. This is the technical backbone for tool use, robotics teleop, research agents, and multi-step creative chains.
And on the consumer side, Google is rolling autonomous research agents directly into Notebook LM. Notebook LM is no longer note-taking. It's now literature synthesis, task decomposition, and analysis, powered by Gemini 3. Agents aren't hype anymore. They're quietly bleeding into every product's surface.
Now let's talk about the real headline: infrastructure. NVIDIA and OpenAI announced a plan to build 10 gigawatts of AI data centers, a $100 billion commitment. 10 gigawatts is enough for 8 to 10 hyperscale campuses, hosting millions of Vera Rubin GPUs. This is no longer a GPU problem. It's a power, land, and permitting problem.
And it's not just them. Anthropic's US strategy points to a $50 billion build-out of its own. Memory pricing is up as much as 60% amid frantic stockpiling. Utilities are modeling grid strain into the next decade. And here's the key insight. Once power is secured, the marginal cost of inference plummets. That's why this build-out matters. Infrastructure is becoming the new competitive moat, not parameters.
Apple made one of the clearest moves this week. A $1 billion per year deal to license a 1.2 trillion parameter Gemini model for Siri. Target launch, spring 2026. Apple is turning Siri into a premium, multimodal cloud-augmented assistant, paid for like a core OS service, not a nice-to-have feature.
And across the industry, we're seeing a pivot toward vendor abstraction. Replit launched access to over 300 models, no API keys needed. Developers are now selecting workflows, not providers. This is a quiet shift, but a huge one for long-term platform power.
On the regulatory side, the U.S. states are moving faster than Washington. We're watching a patchwork appear: sector-specific rules, provenance requirements, and audit trail mandates. For enterprises, this means compliance architecture must adapt before federal harmonization arrives.
In research, DeepMind earned recognition from the Nobel Committee, a symbolic moment for frontier AI in science. Work on alpha-proof, alpha-evolve, long context memory, and prompt injection defenses shows both sides of the curve. Capability is compounding, but safety margins are still moving targets.
Here's the theme connecting everything this week: AI is entering the power era. Models are accelerating, agents are stabilizing, and infrastructure spending is exploding. Once 10 gigawatts come online and token costs drop another 50%, the economics of intelligence shift again.
So what does that mean for 2026? Lower inference prices, larger default context windows, more multi-agent chains running in production, and a widening gap between companies that secure capacity and those that wait. This is the real frontier: capacity planning as strategy.
If you found this week's breakdown useful, share it with someone planning their AI roadmap or evaluating model choices. And subscribe. The GrAIdient Weekly goes deeper than the headlines every time.